Hello everybody, Vigo Shadow here, and today we have a new unit. This is an SS Aurora red attacking unit. So we got Aurora Swing Moonlight. Now this is a Shadow Festival unit, of course, so I'll definitely be going into the should you pull on this unit right here. I am on my main account, so I actually did in fact pull this unit, and funny story. Me and my guild were doing Arma, and I decided to do some pulls in between cooldown, and I actually got her on my 4th multi, which is extremely lucky. I wouldn't count on getting that kind of luck that early in the multis. I mean, like, I heard people getting 12 multis in, 14 multis, some on the pity. Like, it's just, even though it says double chances, I mean, it is a 6% chance, so is what it says. So let's just take a look at the summon details here. So yeah, it goes from a 3 to a 6% rate increase is what they think on the SS characters, boosting your chance by 2 times is what they said. So normal Shadow Festival, you go from 3 to 4.5, so is from what I've seen. But if this 6% is an actual, like, the rate, then yeah, still, it's, you know, you got to be still pretty lucky to get it. So while we're in here, we're actually going to take a look at her weapon here, called the Chain of Seals Magic Drop. Now what this one does right off the bat is that it, at the start of the wave, inflicts 20 stacks of bleed. This is huge on a single enemy. Getting 20 stacks of bleed right away, I mean, you're just setting yourself up for a really good, you know, rhythm with what you're doing with bleed. Because I mean, if you have this unit and another, like Calamity Witch Aurora, you're just doing bleed upon bleed upon bleed. And bleed is probably one of the best things to do for bosses, in arena, pretty much anywhere. I don't really see bleed being, like, not useful anywhere. So it's a very helpful debuff to have on anything. So this magic gear right off the bat is really good. If you are going for this unit and you do happen to pull her, make sure you get the weapon, because of course with every Shadow Festival unit, you don't get the weapon unless you get it off the exchange. So just that's something to keep in mind. Of course, some of you already know that, so, but yeah, either way, the big gimmick about this character is going to be the demon power she's able to grant allies. Now I'm going to be going into demon power a little bit because they don't really explain it a lot. So, in fact, let's see here. We're going to go and do the max stats as well. So, taking a look at what this looks like at the max stat while we're here. So we're going to hit max. This is what power looks like to healing boost. Obviously, we could see like a little 17% increase in the crit attack rate and the 3% increase in the crit rate. And then some crit defense rate as well increase. We got a little bit of an SP boost, which is nice. Some evasion, some accuracy. And it looks like her position is actually pretty far back in your line, so that's good because we want her back there. Now, I won't go into any of the skill awakenings until later, so let's go ahead and go into the character now. Alright, so let's go into her abilities right here. So her first ability is called Re-Atomic, which sounds pretty badass. So we're going to go into the skill here. It is grant 2 times demon power, in quotations. And it's just so frustrating how they don't give us that definition there. But essentially, let me tell you what demon power is, right? So I heard from somebody else that demon power is basically granting you, like, I think 50% speed and 50% attack or damage inflicted boost. Now, if demon power is that, then that is absolutely busted, absolutely broken, and OP. Especially if this demon power can stack. Now we're talking 100% attack and 100% speed on self for 10 seconds after the 2000% damage on a single enemy. So what you want to do is make sure you're boosted with demon power already, and then do it again. So that's what you're going to want to do with this type of hidden technique. Now if we get this awakened here, we have 4 stacks of it. Absolutely insane. And what's even better is that it inflicts 50% damage to each target, not just the boss, which is just absolutely insane. However many bleed effects that these targets have is how much damage it will cause. So just having 2 stacks of bleed will be, I mean, 100 damage. But if we're talking like 20, that's 1,000. 20 stacks of bleed, 1,000 damage on each target, and then you can get up to I've seen 40 stacks and like stuff like that. It's just a lot of damage when you take that into consideration, and especially if you're pairing it with another bleed unit. So if we have Calamity Witch Aurora, which are causing even more bleed, absolutely insane. This is such a good hidden technique, especially if this boost means what it means, right? So yeah, well, enough with the hidden technique there. Let's go into her other ability here, called the Dance of Death. So this grants demon power on a single ally with the highest attack for 10 seconds. Awesome. That's what we want. We want the highest attacking unit on our team to get this demon power. Notice how it doesn't matter if it's an elemental, like red elemental, but it's gonna give it to the highest attack. But if it is a red elemental, it's going to raise the accuracy by 10%. Now, accuracy, I would say it doesn't really matter all too much, unless you're getting debuffed by the enemies, either PvP or dungeons or whatever. And or if they have high evasion. So if your enemies have high evasion, that's also good, but I feel like more times than not, you're not going to really see that. But there are some pretty annoying event bosses that I've run into that has some high evasion, so I guess, something there is better than nothing. Now if we go into the Awakening there, we have 20 seconds instead of 10, which is probably the best thing. And then also, you get a 10% increase on the accuracy. But specifically with this move, you're granting demon power to an ally with the highest attack and to yourself, which is also huge. So that's 1 stack of demon power to somebody else, 1 stack of demon power to yourself. I mean, this character is just giving out this demon power left and right, which is just absolutely insane. So enough of Dance of Death. Let's go to this wonderful looking skill right here. It is the Stake of the Guilty. And what this does is, I'd say a considerable amount of damage on a single enemy. Nothing too much to boast about, but it is more than some. So 500% on a single enemy, kind of like I'd say kind of standard damage. Further inflicts 100% more damage, I believe. And then magic blockage for 10 seconds. Now magic blockage is way better than a seal, because essentially what you're doing is you're blocking, obviously it's in the name, you're blocking any magic from either somebody in PvP or the boss, like, because they can do essentially what the characters can do in like terms of like mini, I guess, abilities. It's not like a hidden technique, but it stops them from doing those other abilities, which is better. So having that for 10 seconds is good. When it's awakened, obviously it's actually a significant 200% instead of like 100 or so. Damage on a single enemy further inflicts that magic blockage for 20 seconds instead of 10, which is better, so because you're not allowing them to do magic, which is good, especially on bosses. Now let's go into her last ability here, and what this does is Swaying Moonlight. So every 10 seconds after the start of the wave, you're granting demon power on a random attacker ally for 20 seconds. Now this is huge, because it's just targeting attacking allies. It's not wasting that effort on a tank or a healer. So you're specifically getting buffs for your attackers, and you're making your attackers way more stronger, which is awesome. Also, it's going to raise the accuracy again. So, I mean, you're going to have a lot more accuracy with this character for sure. And that's permanent, too, with that. But either way, this is every 10 seconds after the start of the wave where you're granting demon power. So you're going to grant demon power 6 times with this skill alone. Or let's say I'd say 5 times, because, usually a wave is 60 seconds. So 5 stacks of demon power right there. And then when this is awakened, it is 2 times a stack on a random attacker ally. Now, if we pair that with her other skill, we have, I'm not sure how many times this one's going to be like this one's gonna proc, but then you have demon power on a single ally, and then demon power on yourself. I mean, this is just giving out demon power left and right, and that's all I'm saying is just demon power. But literally, if that stack is literally what it says, like 50% attack and 50% speed, then this character is absolutely busted. It is giving out attack left and right, speed left and right. Your units, your attacking units are going absolutely nuts. So, obviously, I definitely wanted to pick up on this character and get her right off the bat, because that's so good. Also, not to mention, if you have a Shadow Festival unit character, your strike combos are going to do something. So, when you pick her in a strike combo, not only are you going to do the standard damage that every character does, but you're granting demon power on a random ally for 10 seconds. Now this could be a tank, this could be a healer, but if it goes back to the attackers again, that is good. But still, the strike combo is going to do something for you as well. I mean, that's with any Shadow Festival unit that we've seen so far, so that's also good to know. So, the big question is, should I pull for Swaying Moonlight Aurora? So if we take a look at the banner itself, if it's actually truly 6% instead of that 4.5 that we usually see on Shadow Festival banners, then, I mean, that's a little small glimmer of hope, sort of. It's only like I'd say a 1.5% chance increase. I mean, it's still something. But if we're talking about solely the character itself, yes. Definitely yes. Especially how you can get bleed. You can basically pair this Aurora up with the other Aurora, and you could just cause a massive amount of bleed. Now, if you have like a Shadow Festival Claire that just kind of feeds off of the bleed and like does damage according to bleed, that's also super, super, super good. So this Shadow Festival unit is like, I'd say, definitely way up there for the top tiers in terms of like red units. Like, I mean, red already has a lot of units, but if you want to make your teams like just absolutely great with red, like just being really stacked on red, this would be a good addition. Especially if you don't have any Shadow Festival red units, this is a good place to start with her. Claire is also good, and having her with Claire is even better. So if you have Claire, I definitely go for this Aurora for sure. If you don't have any Shadow Festival unit for red, definite worth for pulling. Just like kind of like most Shadow Festival units, this one's definitely, I definitely would give the go ahead for that. But either way, that's pretty much everything for Swaying Moonlight Aurora. I covered her weapon and everything else. The last thing actually is to go over the Awakening roadmap. Now, this is what I forgot to do, so I'm going to make sure we cover the Awakening roadmap. So I kind of said should I pull early, but here we go. Right off the bat, her A1 unlocks right off the bat. So if you have any magic crystals, get her to A1. I mean, it's very much worth it because you're getting 2 additional demon powers on yourself. And then also, you're doing the bleed damage, because without it, you're not doing bleed multiplied by 50%. So, just having her at A1 is just super, super good in her Awakening roadmap. The fact that she gets the hidden technique right away at A1 is just super, super good. Now, at A2, the Stake of the Guilty, not bad. I mean, you get the 10 more seconds, and then you get 200% more damage, which is good, but, I mean, obviously there's some better choices. Now, this one is also good because you get 10 additional seconds, so the Dancer Death, and then you also get 10 more seconds on yourself. So this one's actually good to have at A3. Having Demon Power for longer is better, so, yep, having her at A3 would be good, too. Magic Gear slot at A4. Always good to have the gear slot. And then, of course, at A5. Debatably one of her other, I'd probably say her second best one to have, if not the first. Every 10 seconds, having double buff for 20 seconds would be absolutely good. So, obviously, her A1, her A3, and her A5 is probably the best thing you want to see on her Awakening roadmap, so not a bad Awakening roadmap at 1. You could be confident to just keep her at A1 and still be a very good unit. So, yeah, that pretty much does it with her Awakening roadmap. I'm pretty sure I covered everything now, but yeah, should you pull? Definitely, especially it's a very good addition for your red team, and it will probably be a staple for a long time. If just a Calamity Witch Aurora is good on it by itself alone, this is just like, you know, it's just so much better, especially if you have the weapon. Now that weapon will just make sure you have a lot of bleed all the time. I mean, well, at the start of the wave, just getting 20 stacks of bleed. Insane. So, yep. That's all. Vigo, signing off.